Hello and welcome to the Amazing Tradies Business Show, a Stronger Than My Excuses web TV series. My name is Marcus Crowick and I'm your host for today's show and our series of 8 shows. We're coming to you from the East Maitland Bowling Club in East Maitland, New South Wales, and we'd like to thank them for providing this wonderful space for us to film the shows. I'd also like to thank Andy, who is our videographer and editor on this series of shows. Our aim is to discuss topics brought to us by you, tradies and business owners out there in the world, and today our topic is about cash management in business. I'd like to introduce you to our guest today to discuss these topics. First of all, I'd like to introduce Stefan Marone from the Mortgage Choice, The Entrance.
Hello, thank you very much for having me here, Marcus.
Lovely to have you here, Stefan. And we've got Mitch Beattie from Mad Cat Marketing.
Hi Marcus, thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you here too as well, Mitch. And Bill Annesley.
Thanks very much, Marcus. Pleasure to be here.
Great to have you here. Bill, if I can just stay with you and talk about cash management, can you define cash management as being?
Well, I think cash management's a system that helps you to plan and make decisions in the future, financial decisions. It helps you monitor your growth more in regards to the future, in regards to maybe recruiting or where, as you're heading towards your vision. And it's also helps you to be present with your finances. You're able to see straight away where your spending is and where you're making money.
Beautiful.
And so
thanks, Bill.
That's the way I look at it, yeah.
Thanks, Bill. Mitch, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, to continue on with what Bill was saying, provides a lot of clarity around how your business is performing, where it's at, and what you can do to continue to grow and improve.
Yeah, Stefan, anything to add on for you?
Yeah, I guess in my opinion, the cash management is just to identify that you can meet your payables in the future, to make sure you're not being put in a position of hardship or that you can't meet your payables or things like that in the future.
Terrific, thank you. So, Mitch, if I can come to you, what's the main problem that you see occurring in businesses, in your own business, without a cash management system in place or with cash management in general?
Just not knowing where you're at, not knowing can you actually afford to do that marketing, can you afford to buy new equipment. Just having that money all in one pool makes it hard to make decisions for your business, I find.
Right, so you've experienced that for yourself in running your business?
Yep. Yeah, I recently implemented Profit First, which helps with my cash management, and it's improved a lot.
Okay, we'll come up to that. Stefan, for you, main problems that occur if you don't have your cash management system in place?
I guess you don't really know where you're standing at the point of time. If you've got direct debits coming out and you don't have a cash management system, you don't know if you can make wages next week, if you're paid on a weekly, fortnightly or monthly basis, depending on the industry you're in, I guess. So that's probably the biggest issue I've had, just not knowing where to allocate my money.
Yeah, okay. And Bill, main problems or issues that come from not having cash management in place?
Yeah, I think it is about clarity in your business, not knowing where you stand, where the business stands, and I think it's it's hard to get that picture of where you want to go, and mostly it's due sometimes to time. The money's coming in, the money's going out, and probably they don't know what they don't know. They're kind of brought up with an accounting type of system of compliance, which mainly focuses on tax. So they're uneducated, in other words, a lot of times.
So what if you don't know what money's coming in and what money's going out? Can you give me an example of a problem that might occur for someone you've been coaching for 20 years, something that you've come across that happens in the business?
Yeah, a good one actually. I was with him a long time, and I never forget actually. It was just before Christmas, a kitchen wholesale company, and he was never happy. January was always they closed for a week or two, but was already very flat. You never earned any money, so he had a sales guy, and he found he was very busy in January. They had half a week off, and that was it. They're right into it. He said the money's coming in, and I come and saw him. I had a break myself. I come and saw him in the business. Was that far from going broke, because he although he was busy and getting plenty of work, the margins were terrible. He was just breaking even. And then the lease expenses started coming in, all the fixed expenses, and he didn't have the money to pay them. So it was a lesson on management accounting, and then I'll never forget, like this is a $5 million business. In regards to margins, he didn't even know what they are in some respects. So it come to the sales guy discounted, and that's where it hurt. But the thing after that, he never stopped looking at his margins. And that's where he set his goals. I want a margin of 30%, 40%. So
Right.
that's a strong one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill. Mitch, why is this occurring out there? Why is there a problem with cash management?
I think just business owners are busy doing what they do, doing their business out there.
Yep. So is that what it was for you? You're concentrating on digital marketing?
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone else's business?
I do marketing, so that's my trade, my skill. I'm not an accountant, so I don't know. I'm not on top of my finances, not knowing what I should be doing, what I should be looking at. And I relied on essentially bank accounting. So the money goes into that one account. Yeah, there's enough money there to pay that bill this week. No,
Yep.
there isn't.
So is that like with what Bill's talking about there's enough money to pay that bill this week, so you pay that bill, and I read from what you're saying, but then next week there's not enough money to pay the next bill.
Yeah, that occurs.
So it's just, there's money there, I'll pay these, there's not money there, I can't pay those.
Yeah.
So it's not actually being managed. The problem with the cash management is then it's not being managed.
No,
it just
that's right. Yeah.
happens as you go. Yeah, thanks. How about for you, Stefan? Why do you think it occurs? And in your own business, has it been an issue for you before?
Absolutely. I guess the reason why I think it occurs is due to education.
Okay.
A lot of people have said our schooling systems don't actually educate people on budget for business owners to budget for tax. They don't educate people on how to budget for upcoming expenses. Let's say rego comes up. A lot of people might not be in a position to pay rego like that.
Yeah.
So I think it does come down to education, and then also what both Bill and Mitch have said, where business owners are so busy working in the business rather than working on the business and looking at everything as a big, like a macro scale, I guess it is.
Yeah. So you're saying that as Mitch was saying, applying the tools of their trade, being the technician in the business, going and doing another PowerPoint, putting in another toilet, building another website, whatever it happens to be, and not stopping to manage their cash, to actually look at what's going on.
Absolutely. And another issue I see with a few trades businesses, they are quite busy in doing the work, but they don't actually set the time to do their invoicing.
Yep.
Looking at clients' financials, you see they have huge accounts receivable. So they say, oh, we've got the money coming in, but when is that money coming in?
Yeah. And so for you, as a mortgage broker, you're seeing those numbers when people are applying for loans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that causes them a problem as well?
At times, more so just a cash flow management system, whether they can afford paying that loan or not.
Yeah, okay.
So
they need to be able to demonstrate that they can afford to pay that loan.
exactly.
Yeah. Bill, you were mentioning about the accounting. So why does it occur? Is there a problem with how accounting's carried out, people's knowledge of accounting? What is it that causes the problem?
Yeah, well, there's a big reliance on profit and loss, and where that tells you, what kind of profit you made. It doesn't actually indicate where all your money is going. I mean, several times in the coaching again, I've come in to see a client and I said, congratulations, your profit's increased 20, 30%. And the first thing they say to me, and it's happened a few times, where is it? It's not my bank account, And I think that's the problem.
And if I could just stop you there, when you're talking about on the profit and loss, we're talking about the financial statements that come from accounting software and from the accountants. The profit on the piece of paper or on the software says there's money there. That's what you're saying. Yeah. And they're saying, but where's my money?
Yeah. Well, you're spot on, actually. Yeah. I mean, as we know, it's all about cash. It's all about cash, and the profit and loss doesn't always have them components. Just cash in there. It's got things like balance sheet items, depreciation, things like that. So it's a bit false, where you would add some of them back.
Yeah. So the profit sheet, your profit and loss, you're saying is it's tax deductible expenses and taxable income, but there's other things that don't appear on there.
That's correct.
That will appear elsewhere, and people aren't looking. So what's another example?
You're at odds. Really, the accountant, what's the accountant concentrating on? The tax accountant wants to minimise the profit, And so, when I had another business, I did the bookkeeping for a lot of businesses, and I'd go in there, I'd say, I got a profit again. I don't want that profit, Bill. I've got enough problems with tax. I don't want a profit. Don't show profit next time, That's their mentality. That's what it shapes them like that, and they think that's the way to go, and it's not,
Yeah.
So they should be wanting big profits, and that's where they need to concentrate on.
Yeah. So we're talking about there's an issue there with what we'd refer to as generally accepted accounting principles,
Absolutely.
which are focused, you're saying, on tax and often on reducing
Compliance,
tax,
yes.
and it's a profit on a piece of paper rather
Absolutely.
than cash in the
Yeah,
bank. You're saying
yeah.
for small business in particular, cash in the bank is important.
Well, the big problem it causes for them as well, that then being uneducated that way, I mean, so a whole lump of income comes in, and that's the problem. They just spend here and spend there, I'll pay that bill. And most businesses, there's a statistic out there, in February they go broke. They go back because they like a lot of tradesmen have a lot of money coming in, and they might buy the small boat, and they buy the new car, and they go on holiday to France or something, come back in February and they can't pay their rent because they've got to build that income up again. And that's simply the same stuff, because a lot of they just spend it. So,
am I able to just jump in there
Yeah,
quickly?
please.
I think what happened to me personally is I didn't actually know that the principal repayments on debts within the business are not tax deductible. I thought it was. That means I had a profit in the business, but as Bill was talking about, there's a profit there, but there was no cash in the bank because I was paying those debts off. And a lot of accountants actually work with their clients once a year, end of financial year. It's not working on a quarterly basis to say, okay, what's cash looking like moving forward? But that's just my opinion on that.
Yeah.
I mean, another big one is come around, they call it tax planning. You come around tax time, so you go and visit the accountant, and the business has got a fair profit there. The tax accountant's actually talking them into spending money so they don't have to pay any tax. Go and buy another car, go and do this to counteract the tax. So it's a tax mentality which isn't good,
No, because you're buying the other car, you save some tax, but there's still a large percentage of that money has come out of your pocket. And as you're saying, Stefan, there's money going out that you don't see on the profit and loss, so you don't understand what's going on. So you've all implemented, as have I, a cash management system in the business. So Stefan, do you like to tell us about implementing the cash management system in your business?
Yeah, so the cash management system I've implemented is pretty much the old school envelope system with our profit first, which you actually got me onto, Marcus.
Yeah, good.
To be honest, it's probably been one of the best things that I've implemented in the business. It means whenever I log into my bank accounts, I know at the start of the month I've got enough money to cover my wages, admin wages, rent, insurances, all my outgoings, my car payments, my petrol fuel. So it's just knowing that at the start of the month, I'm good for the next month.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Mitch, you've put it into your business as well. Do you want to explain it a little bit more to us about what you've actually done?
So it's a matter of, like Stefan was saying, an envelope system, but you're working with bank accounts nowadays. So you set up a number of bank accounts that cover different expenses and income for your business.
So can you give me an example of what some of those envelopes or bank accounts
So you might
be
have for tradies materials or subcontractors.
Okay.
You have your tax and GST accounts. Then you have your owner's equity.
Yeah. So how does that work?
So it's a matter of working out what percentage of your revenue needs to be allocated to those different bank accounts, and then as income comes in, you have a spreadsheet. Type it in, it tells you everything that you need to move into which accounts, and simple as that. On a Monday morning or whatever you want to do, jump into your bank account, move them into the allocated accounts, and you're covered for upcoming expenses and things.
Yeah, okay. Bill, do you want to add to profit first?
The other thing is, I think what's quite powerful is you can actually see if you made a profit, because you distribute the balance and figure goes into the profit, what's left, I suppose. But the fact that you create another account in another bank, which is a bit hard to grab, and they call it the vault, so you can actually distribute some there for the current profit, and all of a sudden you're growing money. You're watching your money grow, and I think that's key. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So if we go back to that, the simple idea, Mitch, you were saying money comes into your chief bank account, and then what do we do with it? Just give us the simple explanation of that again so we're clear.
Then it's just a matter of breaking that up into your percentages that you've already set down and worked out, and moving that percentage of money into your subcontractor's account, into your profit account, into your expense account.
So to do that, the first part is you've actually analysed your accounts and found out I'm spending this much on subcontractors, I'm spending this much on fixed expenses. Personally, I run a vehicle account in my business, so I know how much income that is. And I put that aside all the time so that the money's always there. So we've got that going on. The name there is Profit First, Stefan. That's what we're referring to. So what does that mean so that people understand why it's called Profit First?
I guess it's sort of the fruits of your labour. Okay. If you do work on a job and you get paid, let's say $2,000, of that a certain percentage is your profit, you allocate that out first and then you spend the rest, I guess.
Yeah, so you're saying the money comes into the bank account and the very first allocation you make is to take cash and put it aside into the envelope for profit. Yeah. So instead of having a number on a piece of paper, you're actually ending up with a bank account with cash in it at the end of the year. Yeah? 100%. Yeah. And so then you're ending up, like we said, subcontractors. Well, you don't have subcontractors so much, Stefan, in your business at the moment. Lots of tradies do. Materials is the other thing that they have. So they're working out, here's the materials cost in the business and you're running an account for that. Yeah. Bill, you were talking about from doing that, having a materials account that you know what that amount is meant to be, the money comes into the bank account, you allocate it off to a materials account. How does that help the business owner going forward?
Well, straight away, it's got a lot to do with his margins as well. I mean, it's you can see separate from everything else. You can see how much he's paying the contractors, but the materials you can negotiate the prices of suppliers and that. Which could help him substantially. He may not have noticed it before because it's bunched up with everything else, you know.
Right, so it's making it clear because it's just a materials account. I'm either spending that percentage or I'm doing better, I'm doing worse, I'm spending that percentage.
Yeah, and if you're looking at your profit, what you got left over, they're the areas you will look back in to see whether the percentages there need to be adjusted or whatever, you know. Yeah. You look at your expenses or your suppliers. Yeah.
So Mitch, you were talking about that. So if you've got the money in the various accounts, you had said, well, before in one account, you're paying a bill when the money's there, not paying it when the money's not there. So is this helping you with making those decisions from week to week?
Yeah, definitely. It's taken away a huge amount of stress and anxiety for knowing, well, I've got that bill come in, how am I going to find the money to pay that? Even just going to the shops, going to Coles, knowing that, I've got money in my account to pay that. I don't need to jump on and check, do I need to move money into that account? No, it's there because I've allocated it already.
Right, and you're not having to do calculations of, well, I've got those 3 bills to pay. Do I have the money to buy milk this week? It's like, I've got my milk money is already set aside.
That's right.
One of our shows, our first show in this series was talking about mental health and the financial strain. So you've just mentioned stress there. So has that reduced your financial stress doing all these calculations?
Yeah, greatly. Yeah, it's
called peace of mind, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Peace of mind. Yeah. Is that the number one thing it's done for you, Stefan, or is there something else?
Yeah, I guess peace of mind and security. Security.
Tell me about security.
Just knowing that the fixed commitments each month that I have within the business are going to be paid for, wages are going to be paid for, and then also seeing, like I said before, the fruits of my labour coming, that there's profit building up in the account, which I can then invest in the business, take out, use for personal things.
Yeah, and that profit, I think you mentioned, Bill, you're putting that off to somewhere where you're not looking at it all the time. So it's just building up, out of sight, out of mind. What does it do to have it out of sight and out of mind?
I guess it reduces temptation.
Okay.
Reduces temptation to, I might just quickly grab $500 out of that account, use that for the petrol, and then you just never top it back up. And
right.
Yeah.
So you're finding that by having an account for operating expenses, your mind is staying more to, well, that's the money I'm spending on expenses, and then the other money is the other money. I don't touch it. Yeah. Has it made a difference with having the money set aside for tax, GST, all of those sorts of things as well?
Absolutely. It's a great feeling when the bookkeeper contacts me and says, you've got a $10,000 BAS bill. It's like, okay, when can I pay it?
Yeah.
Not, okay, how can I get onto a payment plan to pay that because I'm catching up on the last one,
Yeah.
and just creates a world of stress and pain.
Which would be, Bill, you look at lots of books. That's a major problem for businesses, isn't it?
Huge, big one. Yeah, it is, and just another headache. And a lot of people get into trouble.
Yeah.
They get past the point of no return.
So there's a few elements to profit first, things like have the percentage set so that you only have that percentage going into expenses. You're not overdoing the amount of money there so you don't spend it. There's things like Mitch was saying, you do it on a regular basis, either every Monday or in the book Profit First. Mike Michalowicz, the author, talks about doing it on the 10th and 25th of the month, that you actually do the allocations in there. Is there a favourite part of actually utilising the cash management strategy for you?
I just enjoy seeing all the accounts there and having the money there to cover all the bills. I just knowing what's going on in my businesses.
Yeah, okay. Mitch, on that, like having the accounts there, one of the comments I get from people, one of the problems they might have is, well, then I'm running all of these bank accounts. Have you found that is an imposition on you, is causing problems?
No, not at all. And connecting them into your Xero is simple, and usually there's only a few in and out sort of transactions happening. So it hasn't.
Yeah. So in reconciliation of bookkeeping for bookkeepers, it's simply, and in Xero you set up rules as you can in MYOB to go, well, it's just a transfer.
Yeah.
It's not actually creating many other transactions.
No, that's right.
All right, cool. Favourite piece of implementing this cash management strategy in a business, Bill?
Favourite?
Yeah, like doing it every week.
Sure.
Is there some part of it that you like most?
Yeah, I think the distribution.
Actually carrying out the distribution?
I think that's huge. Yeah.
That's my favourite part, where every week I sit there and go, well, look, there's money going off there and money going off there. It's like, and it's all taken care of. That's fantastic. Stefan, for you?
Yeah, the distribution, and also just it's satisfying watching accounts go up.
Yeah.
Like whether it's your owner's compensation, your tax account. It is hard to see tax account go off. It's like, oh, that's all tax, but that's all right. If you're paying tax, you're making money, and then profit account as well.
If you're not paying tax, not making money, you can't go and buy that investment property.
Exactly right.
Or pay off debt or any of those other things that we say. We say turn the profit into cash, destroy debt, invest for your future.
Yeah.
So if there's one word to summarise it, or one action people should be taking to help them with cash management, what would that be? Stefan, for you?
I don't have one word, but it is do it.
Okay.
Just bite the bull and do it. I avoided
When you
it.
say do it, is that a cash management strategy, profit first, anything in particular?
Implement profit first.
Okay.
And if you've got like debt in the business and you're saying, oh, I can't really get all the allocations up and running because you've got rego coming up, you've got loans coming out, whatever it may be, just start with one account and build that up, and then start on the second account and build that up, and go from there.
First account to start with is profit, just
absolutely.
to make that habit of it. Doesn't matter what's going in there. Thanks very much, Stefan. Mitch, for you, action to take.
I'd have to agree with Stefan. It's taking the time to implement profit first into your business is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah. Stop, read the book, so you get the idea.
Yeah.
Implement it.
Listen to the book.
Listen to the book, another great thing to do. Yes. Favourite thing. Bill, for you?
Yeah, it's hard to go past that. It's just take action, and what it's about is concentrating on profit. So concentrate on your profit.
So that's a major part of it. The business is about profit. It's not about expenses and everything else. You're in business to make a profit beyond what you're getting paid as a market rate.
Yep,
all right.
absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your input. So we've heard the ideas of what we have to do now. Profit First, the book is available on Audible and in bookstores. You can even contact us for a great deal on that. If you want some advice, contact us at Amazing Tradies for some advice. I'd like to thank our sponsors, again, East Maitland Bowling Club, for providing the space for us here to film this series of shows, and I'd also like to thank Andy, our videographer and editor. You'll find these shows on various forms of social media, which obviously you're watching at the moment. Ask any questions, make any comments, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Again, my thanks to my guests, Stefan Marone from Mortgage Choice The Entrance, Mitch Beattie from Mad Cat Marketing, and Bill Anners. We'll see you on the next show.